Okay, so I told you that after we did the apology and did the thank you that it's time to get angry. It's time to get mad. And there are people that, while I may be upset with this bike path, side street parking, big meeting, coming up tonight's Common Council meeting, it's not that I don't like the people that are involved. Of course I love the Depot District businesses. I mean, the Depot District wouldn't be what it is without Roger Richard, without Steve Terzini, without the other folks that are in there. So it's a strong, vibrant part of our community. They're a very connected and vocal group. Now, they don't get along. I mean, all those businesses can't work together seamlessly without having a common purpose and vision. And the purpose is make some cash, but the other thing is they're really trying to figure out what they can do to move the community forward, to bring more people in with different events and celebrations. So while they have different, all those businesses down there, they're a lot of entrepreneurs have egos, and so they're not going to all be friends. But something like this rallies them together, and from different recommendations to redevelopment commissions and trying to get extra money spent in the Depot District. Let me tell you, it's a really difficult thing to tell those Depot District merchants no, because they don't always ask for money, but they certainly ask for road closures and some able to have some beer on the sidewalks. And when they request something, it's really hard as a city council person or the mayor to say no to that. And they are fired up. But part of the thing is, and this is where I want to make sure that people understand that I think there's been issues on both sides. And right now we're talking about the Depot District owners. The owners of the businesses and the properties that are down there that are really upset about side street parking, raise your hand on how many of those planning meetings you went to. Okay, you are late to the game. Now, again, later on we'll talk about maybe where there's a total lack of communication that's happening on behalf of the city administration. We'll do that. But don't take this out on people that are choosing to not have a car and live in the city of Richmond. Don't give me the winters are so bad here. Yeah, okay, fine. It's cold and we don't like it, but there's Uber and Lyft coming in, car sharing services, people that can walk in the wintertime from where they live to where they work. The customer base is changing, and if you lose some side street parking, that's not going to bankrupt your business unless you let it, unless you take the hand that's giving you and you don't show up to the planning meetings, you don't participate in the planning of it. When the loop was mentioned in the State of the City address, if I was a downtown business, I go, where's exactly that going? What does that look like? And, a lot of those businesses didn't do that. They just sort of waited for the construction news to start, and then they started hearing about how tight the corners are going to be and how much side street parking. And then it became this big thing. Look, the Depot District needs additional parking. What they need to do, and this is Steve Terzini's plan. It's not my plan. But just real quickly, where the Warner School is right now, the school should gift that property to the city of Richmond for this purpose. You create a parking lot there, but it is a little weird trying to navigate that Fort Wayne Avenue, C Street exits. There is a design there. There was actually a road between where Warner School is and where that parking lot is that you could put that road back in, square off that intersection so it's not so weird. It's right there, Fort Wayne Avenue and C Streets, and it's just right there that it's just kind of a weird to navigate. You need some clean crosswalks, and the city could do that. The city should step up and say, we're actually going to work on that now while the side street parking issue is coming in, because that's what the fear is. The fear is I'm going to lose the proximity to get customers in the door. We don't have that problem during the Depot Christmas. all of those parking spaces are taken up for the entire night, and people still flock to the area. So there's still a marketing component that you have to make sure that you're doing as a group. But don't go to the city council meeting tonight and start blaming bicyclers, or the fact that what I tried to do yesterday was to talk about the declining use of cars. It may not be in my generation, it may not be while I'm alive, but people will stop using cars at some point. You know, cars are going to be smaller. Parking spaces are going to be able to be shortened up and more parking spaces added because people aren't going to drive. Only rednecks are driving those big pickup trucks with the jet engine exhaust on them that totally compensating for other things. So I want those Depot District merchants that are going to be speaking tonight to be supportive of the city's plan of trying to be progressive to attract younger people here, because if you don't have that infrastructure in place, they're not coming. For sure they're not coming. There's wages and other reasons why they may not come either. But in this situation, I want to make sure that what shouldn't be, let's not throw out the baby with the bathwater. And also, if you're a Depot District merchant, show up to a meeting. When the NDOT meets with the city and the bridges and all those people get together to talk about the infrastructure, be in the room. You're allowed to be. Pete Zaleski is. Now, he's pushed his way through, and he's also connected with county government, as you know, and so he can dive in on that and knows where those meetings are and knows how to navigate that. He was able to push for signage while 7th Street was closed there. So he's figured it out. Get involved that way, not just start waving some flag about, hey, we need everybody to show up to a council meeting, and you bring all those people down there and then not give them the opportunity to speak. That's short-sighted by city council. Wear a sweater tonight if I was on city council. Here's what I would do. I would say, look, we need to open this up to public comment. That's what we need. And 3 speakers on the agenda. All you're going to get is a loud applause and then a whole bunch of people that leave the room as you're getting ready to read the ordinances that are on second reading. You open it up for some public comment. Take 10 minutes of it, 15 minutes of it, whatever you think is necessary to let some of this steam get out. But anybody that starts challenging transportation use in the city of Richmond is thinking about what's right now and what has been, not what it is moving forward, not where this community needs to be in 20 or 30 years. And that's what the city administration has to be focused on. That and some other things, which we'll talk about next. And I said, then we're going to get angry and get mad and fight. And so this is where we enter that section of the program. Earlier, if you missed it, you can go back and listen to our podcast at 1017thepoint.com. I just took the business owners and property owners in the Depot District to task for creating this, this not a riot, that's a little strong, but this intense presence at a city council meeting in which they're not going to be able to speak, or well, at least 3 of them are going to be able to speak, and that's going to be it. I think council's going to have a hard time doing that. And I said we were going to take them to task, but also the city administration, and now it's time to do that. And I know, when you live in a small town, you have the tendency to, when you talk the way that I do a lot, you have a tendency to bruise some egos. And I know mine's been done that way. And so I don't dislike anybody in this situation talking about side street parking and bike paths and stuff, but we've got to talk about the city administration. Okay, so the mayor has been mayor for 2 years, and previous experience was that he was a good communicator. That's basically it, right? He had the ability to grab people and get them excited about going to the polls and voting for a DJ. He's more than that, of course, but that's, sort of the job that he had before. And now he's in this role of managing a huge budget and being in charge of department heads who then are in charge of employees, and also trying to navigate, managing people for really what is the first time in his career. But it didn't matter because he sounded good. You knew that he was passionate. You knew that he cared and kind of had a vision for where he thought the city of Richmond needed to go. And the mayor is doing a lot of that. I mean, come on. The second we started to see the old hospital go down for anything less than $12 million, I thought the guy was a shoo-in. But where the administration, especially in that infrastructure, metro development department, that area right there has had some real struggle in a time when you really need strong structure there. because of all of the construction. Now, I'm as guilty at banging the drum on there's been too much construction and it doesn't seem like it's organized. I've been as guilty of that as anybody. And I'm sure that part of this plan is inherited, but inherited from a previous administration that just sort of fell apart the last 6 months as Sally's health failed. I mean, some of the planning on what we're seeing in construction was happening back then. It hasn't been all under Dave Snow's administration. But, Dave, where are you? Why are you not out talking every single day about what this loop project looks like, and here's the plan? There should be a folded piece of paper in your suit coat everywhere you go. This is the plan. This is what it looks like. What do you think? Hasn't done that. There's been really no structure in Metropolitan Development Office to do that. But you're the guy. You're the guy that people said, yeah, he sounds good. Let's go with this guy. You're the guy that people voted for, and you should be out there towing the line. Now, State of the City addresses are great. City council meetings, talking for 10 minutes is great, but that's not your meeting. Your meeting is with us, the people. And that message has been lost. Also, where are your people, department heads that are supposed to be at these planning meetings, and they're supposed to be there every time? And I know from people that have been in the meetings that people in the city department, people with a city email address are not in the room. Or if they are, they're part-time CAD drawers that are also firemen. This is falling apart. Your administration, this first term is falling apart because you're not doing the one thing you're good at doing, which is getting out and sharing the story and saying, this is why the loop is important. This is why we're going to make up for whatever is going to be lacking in side street parking. I know you know these plans. I know you know the plans. I went to the city's website. I can't even find it. Where's the documentation on what the loop entails? And now you've got all these businesses riled up, and the easiest thing to have done was to just walk in these rooms, walk in these buildings. When it comes to the downtown merchants, they're all very frustrated with what things are going, with how the construction is taking part in downtown, Joe Creech and others. And I just wonder how often we're not seeing what would be an easy picture to take. The mayor inviting some people from the area to have lunch at one of these downtown restaurants, taking some pictures to social media, spending some dollars there. He may be doing that, but we don't see it. And because you don't see it, I mean, Dave, this is the issue. And at some point, you're going to have to decide whether or not you're going to want to be mayor again. You're going to have to figure out if this is going to be the time for you to want to do this thankless job for another 4 years. And I don't think there was anybody that could beat you in an election, but here we are. And you've got a really frustrated group of people that they're great community advocates. They hold a lot of events. They do a lot of stuff, and they're all pointing their finger at you. It's just not where you want to be, getting ready to have to make a decision on whether or not you want to run again. I think we want to see Mayor Snow run again. I think that he has done good things. But and we don't know if there's any Republicans willing to step up to run against Dave. But, you could have controlled the message here. That is what you are best at doing. And if that takes sitting here once a week, if that takes going to other radio stations or sitting down with the newspaper or whatever it is to just keep pressing on this idea. It was a great job with Elstro Plaza. Elstro Plaza, it was always out there being talked about, and it is a great space. So I really hope that we can get past this meeting tonight that's going to happen at 7 o'clock, get to some business, and then certainly the door is open for either of these two sides of this issue. But I know that you're looking at what the city needs to be 20 and 30 years from now. That's what your job is. And I think other than fixing your department head situation and getting some people in there that will stay and know how to do the job, that probably have been in the private sector at one time or another as a business owner, may be a good idea. But keep that vision, but you got to share it with us. And that way we're all on the same page. We don't have all this stuff bubbling up on social media and in the news media.